Okay, Hare Krishna, everyone. Today it's Papamochini Ekadashi. The glories of this Ekadashi are described in the Vishnu Purana in the conversation between Lord Krishna and Maharaj Yudhishthir. Once Maharaj Yudhishthir asked Lord Krishna, "My dear Lord Krishna, you have already explained the glories of Amalaki Ekadashi. Now please describe the Ekadashi which occurs during the waning moon in the month of March and April. What is the name of this Ekadashi? Also describe to me the procedure for observing this Ekadashi and its results." Lord Krishna replied, "O best of kings, the name of this Ekadashi is Papamochini. Now please hear its glories as I describe them to you. Long, long ago, the glories of this Ekadashi were spoken by sage Lomasha to King Mandata. This Papamochini Ekadashi occurs during the waning moon in the month of March-April. This Ekadashi takes away all one's sinful reactions, destroys one's ghostly condition of life, and awards 8 kinds of mystic perfections. Sage Lomasha said, "In the ancient time, Kuvera, the treasurer of the demigods, had a beautiful forest of flowers called Chaitrarat, where the weather was pleasant as a result of an eternal spring. The heavenly dancing girls, such as the Gandharvas and the Kinnaras, enjoyed various sports there. Demigods headed by Indra used to come there and enjoy various exchanges. In that forest, a great sage named Medavi, who was a staunch devotee of Lord Shiva, was engaged in performing austerity. The Apsaras, or the heavenly dancing girls, tried to disturb the sage in various ways. Among the Apsaras, one famous Apsara named Manju Gosha devised a means to captivate the mind of the sage. Due to fear of the sage, Manju Gosha built a cottage a little away from the ashram of the sage and began to sing in a sweet voice, accompanied with the musical instrument Veena. Singh Manju Gosha, who applied sandalwood pulp on her body, wore a fragrant flower garland, and was engaged in singing sweetly. Even Cupid, who is the enemy of Lord Shiva, tried to conquer the sage, who was a devotee of Lord Shiva. One time, Lord Shiva burnt Cupid to ashes. Thus, remembering his previous enmity, Cupid entered the body of the sage in order to take revenge. At that time, sage Medavi, who wore a white sacred thread on his body and lived in the ashram of Jaivan Rishi, appeared as a second Cupid. The lusty Manjugosha slowly came before that sage. The sage Medavi also became overwhelmed by lust and forgot his worshipable lord. He gave up the practice of devotional service, became so intoxicated in relishing the association of this woman that he even lost the sense of discriminating between day and night. In this way, sage Medavi spent many years enjoying lusty activities. Thereafter, when Manju Ghosh saw that the sage had fallen down from his position, she decided to return to the heavenly planet. So said to sage Medavi, who was engaged in conjugal affairs, "O great sage, now please give me permission to return home." Sage Medavi replied, "O beautiful woman, you have come to me only in the evening. Stay here tonight and you can return in the morning." On hearing these words of the sage, Manjugosh became frightened and continued to live with him for a few more years. In this way, although Manjugosh lived with the sage for 57 years, 9 months, and 3 days, still it appeared to be only half of a night to the sage. Manjugosh again asked for permission from the sage to return home, but the sage said, "O beautiful one, please hear my words. This is only morning. Please wait till I finish my morning rituals." Then the Apsara smiled and said to the sage with amazement, "O great sage, how long will it take to complete your morning rituals? Haven't you finished yet? You have spent many years enjoying my association. Therefore, please consider the actual value of the time." On hearing the words of the Apsara, the sage came to his senses. After carefully calculating the time, he said, "Alas, O beautiful one, I have simply wasted 57 years of my valuable time. You have ruined everything and spoiled all my austerities." The eyes of the sage filled with tears and his entire body began to tremble. Sage Medvi cursed Manju Ghosh in the following words: "You have behaved with me like a witch. Therefore, you will immediately become a witch, or sinful, unchaste lady. Shame on you." After being cursed by the sage in this way, Manju Ghosh humbly said to the sage, O best of the Brahmins, please withdraw your heavy curse. I have spent many years in your company. O my lord, for this reason I am a fit candidate for your forgiveness. Please be merciful to me. The sage replied, O gentle lady, what will I do now? You have destroyed my entire wealth of austerity. Still, I am telling you the procedure for getting free from this curse. The Ekadashi, which occurs during the waning moon in the month of March, April, which is called Pap Mochini, and is capable of destroying all one's sinful reactions. We follow this Ekadashi strictly and faithfully, then your ghostly condition of life will be vanquished. After speaking these words, Sage Medavi returned to the ashram of his father, Sage Jayavan. And as soon as the sage Jayavan saw his fallen son, he became extremely unhappy and said, Alas, alas, oh my son, what have you done? You have ruined yourself. You should not have spoiled your entire treasury of austerity simply by being captivated by an ordinary lady. Sage Medavi replied, Oh, respected father, due to misfortune, I have committed great sins in the association of an Apsara. Therefore, please instruct me regarding the atonement of my sinful reactions. On hearing the pathetic words of his repentant son, Sage Yavan said, O my son, by observing Papamochini Ekadashi, which falls during the waning moon in the month of March, April, all one's sinful reactions are completely destroyed. Therefore, you should observe this Ekadashi. On hearing these kind words of his father, Sage Madhavi exhibited special enthusiasm in observing this Ekadashi. By the influence of this Ekadashi, all the sinful reactions of Sage Madhavi were destroyed and became very pious. Meanwhile, Manju Ghosh also observed this auspicious Papmochini Ekadashi, became liberated from the ghostly condition of life. She then regained her divine form and returned to heaven. After narrating this story to King Mandata, Sage Loma Shah concluded as follows. My dear king, just by observing this Papamochini Ekadashi, all one's sinful reactions are automatically destroyed. By hearing or reading the glories of this Ekadashi, one achieves the result of donating 1,000 cows. By observing this Ekadashi, all kinds of sinful reactions resulting from the killing of a Brahmin, killing an embryo, drinking wine, and associating with one's guru's wife are totally uprooted. The purport is that since the sacred Ekadashi is all auspicious and is the destroyer of all sins, everyone should strictly observe this Ekadashi. Papmochini Ekadashi ki jai.
Thank you so much. Thank you for wonderful darshan, Leena Devi. Very, very nice. Beautifully.
Thank you. Krishna's mercy.
It is indeed. Thank you so much. And I wanted to welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us, and wanted to seek your good wishes, your blessings, so that we can have a successful Ekadashi satsang. And it will, no doubt will be, because we are about to embark on another beautiful journey on the Vishnu Sahasranam. Thanks to Radhika. Where are you? Oh, yes, she's there. Great, great. So without further ado, let's go to it. And Radhika, you're welcome to share. How do you get rid of this? Okay, welcome to share. Anything you like. Maybe go through a few verses if you like. Whatever you like doing.
Sure, yes. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Maybe I could, like Prabhu suggested last week, once I finished reciting the 1,000 names of the Lord, take up just 5 verses every week,
Brilliant.
if you're okay with that, 5 or 7, how many ever you want to. And we could just go through the meanings of this stotra. And because we seem to have different people joining every week, let me just give you a quick introduction, which I'm reading from Hindupedia.com. It says the Vishnu Sahasranam is found in the Mahabharata. Literally translated, this means 1,000 names of Mahavishnu. This is found in the Anushanika Parvam, which is a chapter related to the order of the rule of kings of the Mahabharata. Bhishma Pitama was defeated and grievously wounded by Arjuna, but since he could choose the time of his death as per the boons received by him, he chose to die in Uttarayana and was waiting for that auspicious time. Meanwhile, the war was nearly over, leading to the death of almost all male members in his family except the Pancha Pandavas and the unborn child of Abhimanyu. Yudhishthira, the eldest of the Pandavas, became the king of Hastinapura, and whom else would he go to for advice other than Bhishma the Great? In the form of question and answers between Yudhishthira and Bhishma Pitama encapsulates what we today see as the Anushasanika Parva. To a question as to what is the best possible stotra, Bhishma answers that it is the Vishnu Sahasranama, and he teaches it to Yudhishthira. Though it describes 1,000 aspects and praises of the Lord, it is not so simple and easy to understand. Many great acharyas have tried to or have felt the need to give it a crystal clear meaning so that the devotee can not only sing but meditate on the aspect of God he is praising with each word in the stotra. By this, again, this has been done in Sanskrit, which makes it difficult. And with modern civilization, several translations are, however, available, including in English in India. Though the Sahasranama, in fact, means 1,000 names, it contains only 901 distinct sounding names. 850 names are repeated once, 75 of these names are repeated twice, 9 of these names are repeated thrice, and 2 of these names 4 times. The acharyas, however, have attempted to give different meanings to the same name or the word in different places or different verses. So, that's just a little introduction, and we can start reciting now. Om Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadhanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye Vyasam Vashishthanaptaram Shakter Potamakalmasham Parasharatmajam Vande Shukatatam Taponithim Vyasaya Vishnu Rupaya Vyasa Rupaya Vishnave Namo Vai Brahma Nithiye Vashisthaya Namo Namaha Avikaraya Shuddhaya Nityaya Paramatmane Sadaika Rupaya Vishnave Sarvajishnave Yasya Smarana Matreena Janma Samsara Bandhanat Vimuchate Namastasme Vishnave Prabha Vishnave Om Namo Vishnave Prabha Vishnave Shri Vaishwampaya Uvacha Shrutva Dharmana Seshena Pavanani Sasharvashah Yudhishthira Shantanavam Punarevabhyabhashata Yudhishthira Uvacha Kimekam Devatam Loke Kim Vapyekam Parayanam Stuvantakam Kamachanta Prapna Yurmanava Shubham Kodharma Sarva Dharmanam Bhavata Paramo Mataha Kim Japanmuchyate Jantur Janma Samsara Bandhanat Shri Bhishmara Uvacha Jagat Prabhum Devadevam Anantam Purushottamam Stuvannama Sahasrena Purushassatatotitah Tameva Charchayan Nityam Bhaktya Purushamavyayam Dhyayan Stuvannamasyam Shayajamanastameva Cha Anadhinitanam Vishnum Sarva Lokamaheshwaram Lokadhyaksham Stuvannnityam Sarva Dukkhadiko Bhavet Brahmanyam Sarva Dharmanyam Lokanam Kirtivardhanam Lokanatham Mahatbhutam Sarva Bhutapavotpavam Esha me Sarva Dharmanam Dharmo Dhikatamo Mataha Yad Bhaktya Pundarikaksham Stave Rachainara Sada Paramamyo Mahatteja Paramamyo Mahattapaha Paramamyo Mahatbrahma Paramamya Parayanam Pavitranam Pavitramyo Mangalanam Cha Mangalam Devatam Devatanam Cha Bhutanam Yo Yayapita Yata Sarvani Bhutani Bhavantyadi Yugagame Yasminscha Pralayanyanti Punareva Yugakshaye Tasya Loka Pradhanasya Jagannathasya Bhupate Vishnor Nama Sahasramne Shunu Papa Bhayapaham Yani Namami Gomnami Vikhyatani Mahatmanaha Rishi Pipari Gitani Tani Bakshyami Bhutaye Vishirnamnam Sahasrasya Veda Vyaso Mahamunihi Chando Nustub Tatha Devo Bhagavan Devaki Sutaha Amritam Shodbhavo Bhijam Shaktir Devaki Nandanaha Trisama Hridayam Tasya Shantir Devini Uchate Vishnum Jishnum Mahavishnum Prabha Vishnum Maheshwaram Aneka Rupa Dhaityantam Namami Purushottamam अस्य श्री विष्णोर्दिव्य सहस्रनाम स्तोत्र महामन्त्रस्य श्री वेदव्यासो भगवान् ऋषिः अनुस्तुप छन्दः श्री महाविष्णु परमात्मा श्रीमन्नारायणो देवता अमृतांशोद्भवो भानुरिति बीजं देवकी नन्दन षष्ठेति शक्तिः उद्भवः क्षोभनो देव इति परमो मन्त्रः शङ्खबृन्नन्तिकी चक्रीति कीलकम् श्राङ्खधन्वागताधर यत्रस्थं रथाङ्गपाणिरक्षोभयति नेत्रं त्रिसामा सामगः सामेति कवचम् आनन्दपरब्रह्मेति योनिः ऋतुर्सुदर्शनकाल इति दिग्बन्धः श्रीविश्वरूप इति ध्यानं श्रीमहाविष्णुप्रीत्यर्थे सहस्रनाम जपे विनियोगः ध्यानं क्षीरोधन्वत् प्रदेशे शुचिमणिविलसत्सैकते मुक्तिकानां मालाक्लुप्तासनस्थस्फटिकमणिनिभैर्मुक्तिकैमण्डिताङ्गः शुभ्रैरप्रैरतप्रैरुपरि विरचितै मुक्तपीयूषवर्षैः आनन्दीन पुनीयाधरिनलिलगधा शङ्खपाणिर्मुकुन्दः बुःपादौ यस्य नाभिर्वियतसुरनिलश्चन्द्रसूर्यौ च नेत्रे कर्णावासा शिरोध्यो मुखमपि दहनो यस्य वास्तेयमुक्तिः अन्तस्थं यस्य विश्वं सुरनरखगो भोगि गन्धर्वदैत्यैः चित्रं रम्यते तं त्रिभुवनवपुषं विष्णुमीशं नमामि ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभाङ्गं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिहृद्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथं मेघश्यामं पीठकौसेयवासं श्रीवत्साङ्गं कौस्तुभोद्भासिताङ्गं पुण्योपेतं पुण्डरीकायताक्षं विष्णुं वन्दे सर्वलोकैकनाथं नमः समस्तभूतानाम् आदिभूताय भूभृते अनेकरूपरूपाय विष्णवे प्रभविष्णवे शशङ्खचक्रं शकिरीतकुण्डलं सपीतवस्त्रं सरसीरुहेक्षणं सहारवक्षस्थलस्थोऽपि कौस्तुभं नमामि विष्णुं शिरसा चतुर्भुजं छायायां पारिजातस्य हेमसिंहासनोपरि आसीनमबुधस्याम मायताक्षमलङ्कृतं चन्द्राननं चतुर्बाहुं श्रीवत्साङ्कितवक्षसं रुक्मिणी सत्यभामाख्यां सहितं कृष्णमाश्रये ॐ विश्वं विष्णुर्वषत्कारो भूतभव्यभवत्प्रभुः भूतकृद्भूतभृद्भावो भूतात्मा भूतभावनः भूतात्मा परमात्मा च मुक्तानां परमागतिः अव्ययपुरुषस्साक्षी क्षेत्रज्ञो शरीरव च योगो योगविदां नेता प्रधानपुरुषेश्वरः नारसिंहवपु श्रीमान् केशवपुरुषोत्तमः सर्वशिवस्थाणुर्भूतादिर्निधिरव्ययः सम्भवो भावनो भर्ता प्रथमप्रपुरीश्वरः स्वयंभू शम्भुरादित्य पुष्कराक्षो महास्वनः अनाधिनिधनो धाता विधाता तुरुत्तमः अप्रमेयो ऋषिकेश पद्मनाभो मरप्रभुः विश्वकर्मा मनुस्त्वष्टा स्थविष्ठस्थविरो ध्रुवः अग्राय शाश्वत कृष्णो लोहिताक्षप्रदत्तनः प्रभूतस्तिकगुद्धाम पवित्रं मङ्गलं परम् ईशान प्राणो ज्येष्ठ प्रजापतिः हिरण्यगर्भो भूगर्भो माधवो मधुसूदनः ईश्वरो विक्रमी धन्वी मेधावी विक्रमक्रमः अनुत्तमोदरादर्श कृतज्ञकृतिरात्मवान् सुरेश शरणं शर्म विश्वरेता प्रजापवः अह संवत्सरो व्याल प्रत्यय सर्वदर्शनः अजः सर्वेश्वर सिद्ध सिद्धि सर्वादिरच्युतः वृषाकपिरमेयात्मा सर्वयोगविनिश्रुतः वसुर्वसुमना सत्य समात्मा समिता समघ अमोघ पुण्डरीकाक्षो वृषकर्मा वृषाकृतिः रुद्रो बहुशिरा बभ्रुर्विश्वयोनिषुचिश्रवाः अमृत शाश्वत स्थाणुर्वरारोहो महातपाः सर्वगः सर्वविद्वानुर्विश्वक्षेणो जनार्दनः वेदो वेदविदव्यङ्गो वेदाङ्गो वेदवित् कविः लोकाध्यक्षः धर्माध्यक्ष कृताकृतः चतुरात्मा चतुर्व्यूहश्चतुर्धंशश्चतुर्भुजः भ्राजिष्णुर्भोजनं भोक्ता सहिष्णु च गदाचितः अनघो विजयोजेता विश्वयोनिर्पुनर्वसुः उपेन्द्रो वामनप्रांशुरमोघ सुचिरोचितः अतीन्द्रः सङ्ग्रहः सर्गो धृतात्मा नियमो यमः वेद्यो वैद्य सदा योगी वीरः माधवो मधुः अतीन्द्रियो महामायो महोत्साहो महाबलः महाबुद्धिर्महावीर्यो महाशक्तिर्महाद्युतिः अनिर्देशवपु श्रीमान् मे आत्मा महाधृतिः महेश्वासो महीभर्ता श्रीनिवासः सताङ्गतिः अनिरुद्धस्सुरानन्दो गोविन्दो गोविदाम्पतिः मरीचिद्दमनो हंसः सुपर्णो भुजगोत्तमः हिरण्यनाभस्सुतपा पद्मनाभ प्रजापतिः अमृत्युः सर्वदिक्सिंहः सन्दाता सन्तिमान् स्थिरः अजो दुर्मशनस्तास्ता विशुरात्मा सुरारिहा कुरुर्कुरुतमो धाम सत्य सत्य पराक्रमः निमिषो निमिषस्रग्भि वाजस्फटिरुरारधीः अग्रणी ग्रामणी श्रीमान् न्यायो नेता समीरणः सहस्रमूर्धा विश्वात्मा सहस्राक्ष सहस्रपात् आवर्तनो निवृत्तात्मा समृद्ध संभ्रमर्थनः अह संवर्तको वह्निललिलोधरनीधरः सुप्रसाद प्रसन्नात्मा विश्वधृत् विश्वभुक् विभुः सत्कर्ता सद्गुतः साधुर्जह्नुर्नारायणो नरः असंख्येयो प्रमेयात्मा विशिष्ट शिष्टकृच्छिचिः सिद्धार्थ सिद्ध संकल्प सिद्धिद सिद्धि साधनः वृषा हि वृषभो विष्णु वृषपर्वा वृषोधरः वर्तनो वर्तमानश्च विविक्त श्रुति सागरः सुभुजो दुर्धरो वाग्मी महेन्द्रो वसुतो वसुः नैकरूपो बृहद्रूप शिपिविष्ट प्रकाशनः ओजस्तेजो द्युतिरः प्रकाशात्मा प्रतापनः बुद्धस्पष्टाक्षरो मंत्रश्चन्द्रांशुर्भास्करद्युतिः अमृतांशुत्वो भानुशशबिन्दुः सुरेश्वरः औषधं जगजस्सेतु सत्यधर्मपराक्रमः भूतभव्यभवन्नाथ पवन पावनो नलः कामः कामकृत्कान्तः कामप्रदप्रभुः युगादिकृत्युदावर्तो नैकमायो महाशनः अदृश्यो व्यक्तरूपश्च सहस्रजितनन्तजित् इष्टो विशिष्टशिष्ठेष्ट शिखण्डी नरुषो वृषः क्रोधः क्रोधकृत्कर्ता विश्वबाहुर्महीधरः अच्युतप्रतितप्राणप्राणदप्रणवप्रतुः हिरण्यगर्भशत्रुघ्नो व्याप्तो वायुरधोक्षजः ऋतुसुदर्शनकाल परमेष्टि परिग्रहः उग्रसंवत्सरो दक्षो विश्रामो विश्वदक्षिणः विस्तारस्थावनस्थानुप्रमाणं बीजमव्ययम् अर्थोऽनर्थो महाकोशो महाभोगो महाधनः अनिर्विन्नस्तविष्टो भूर्धर्मयूपो महामकः नक्षत्रनेमे नक्षत्री क्षामः क्षामः समीहनः यज्ञयुज्यो महेजष्टु क्रतुः सत्रं सताङ्गतिः सर्वदर्शी निवृत्तात्मा सर्वज्ञोज्ञानमुत्तमम् सुव्रत सुमुख सूक्ष्म सुघोष सुगद सुहृद मनोहरोजितक्रोधो वीरभापुर्विधारणः स्वापन स्वपशो व्यापी नैकात्मानैककर्मकृत् वत्सरो वत्सलो वत्सी रत्नगर्भोधनेश्वरः धर्मभृत् धर्मकृद्धर्मी सदसक्षरमक्षरम् अविज्ञाता सहस्रांशुर्विधाता कृतलक्षणः गभस्तिनेमि सत्त्वस्थ सिंहो भूतमहेश्वरः आदिदेवो महादेवो देवेशो देवभृत्कुरुः उत्तरो गोपतिर्गोप्ता ज्ञानगम्य पुरातनः शरीरभूतभृत्पोक्ता कपीन्द्रो भूरि दक्षिणः सोमपो मृतपः सोमः पुरुजित्पुरुषत्तमः विनयो जय सत्यसन्धो दाशार्हसात्वतां पतिः जीवो विनयता साक्षी मुकुन्दो मितविक्रमः अम्बो निधिरनन्तात्मा महोधतिशयोऽन्तकः अजो महार्ह स्वाधाव्यो जिता मित्र प्रमोदनः आनन्दोनन्दनोनन्द सत्य धर्मा त्रिविक्रमः महर्षेर्कपिलाचार्य कृतज्ञो मेदिनीपतिः त्रिपदस्थित साध्यक्ष महाशृङ्गकृतान्तकृत् महावराहो गोविन्द सुषेण कनकाङ्गदी गुह्यो गभीरो गहनो गुप्तश्चक्रकधाधरः वेदास्वाङ्गोचितकृष्णो धृतः सङ्कर्षणोच्युतः वरुणो वारुणो वृक्षपुष्कराक्षो महामनाः भगवानन्दी वनमाली हलायुधः आदित्यो ज्योतिरादित्य सहिष्णुर्गतिसत्तमः सुधन्वाखण्ड परशुद्धारुणो द्रविणप्रदः दिवस्पृक्सर्वदिग्व्यासो वाचस्फटिरयो निजः त्रिसामासामगस्साम निर्वाणं भेषजं भिषक् सन्न्यासकृश्चमश्चान्तो निष्ठा शान्तिपरायणम् शुभांग शांतिदशिष्ठा कुमुद कुबलेशयः गोहितो गोपतिर्गोप्ता वृषभाक्षो वृषप्रियः अनिवर्ती निवृत्तात्मा संसेक्षाक्षेमकृच्छिवः श्रीवत्सवक्षा श्रीवास श्रीपति श्रीमतांबरः श्रीधर श्रीश श्रीनिवास श्रीनिधिल श्रीविभावनः श्रीधर श्रीकर श्रेय श्रीमान् लोकत्रयाश्रयः स्वक्ष स्वङ्गशतानन्दो नन्दिर्ज्योतिर्गणेश्वरः विजितात्मा विधेयात्मा सत्कीर्तिश्चिन्न संशयः उदीर्न सर्वतिष्ठक्षुरनीश शाश्वतस्थिरः भूषयो भूषणो भूतिर्विशोकशोकनाशनः अर्चिष्मानचितकुम्भो विशुद्धात्मा विशोधनः अनिरुद्धो प्रतिधर प्रद्युम्नो मितविक्रमः कालनेमिनिहावीरः शौरिशूरजनेश्वरः त्रिलोकात्मा त्रिलोकेश केशव केशिहा हरिः कामदेव कामपालः कामी कान्तकृतागमः अनिर्देशवपुर्विष्णुर्वीरोऽनन्तो धनञ्जयः ब्रह्मण्यो ब्रह्मकृत् ब्रह्मा ब्रह्म ब्रह्मविवर्धनः ब्रह्मविद्ब्राह्मणो ब्रह्मी ब्रह्मज्ञो ब्राह्मणप्रियः महाक्रमो महाकर्मा महातेजा महोरगः महाक्रतुर्महायज्वा महायज्ञो महाविः स्तव्यस्तव प्रिय स्तोत्रं स्तुतिस्तोत्रारणप्रियः पूर्ण पूर्णयता पुण्य पुण्य कीर्तिर्नामयः मनोजवस्थितगरो वसुरेता वसुप्रदः वसुप्रदो वासुदेवो वसुर्वसुमनाहविः सद्गति सद्गुति सत्ता सद्बुद्धि सप्तरायणः शूरसेनो यदुश्रेष्ठ सन्निवासस्वयामुनः भूता वासो वासुदेव सर्वासु निलयो नलः दर्पः दर्पदो दुप्तो दुर्धरोधापराजितः विश्वमूर्तिर्महामूर्तिर्दीप्तमूर्तिरमूर्तिमान् अनेकमूर्तिरव्यक्त शतमूर्ति शताननः एको नैकसवक्कं किं यत् पदमनुत्तमम् लोकबन्धुर्लोकनाथो माधवो भक्तवत्सलः सुवर्णवर्णो हेमाङ्गो वराङ्गश्चङ्गनाङ्गदी वीरः विषमशून्यो कृताशीरजलश्चलः अमानिमानदो मान्यो लोकस्वामी त्रिलोककृत् सुमेधामेतजोधन्य सत्यमेधाधराधरः तेजो वृषोदुरः सर्वषष्ठभुताम्बरः प्रग्रहो निग्रहो व्यग्रो नैकशृङ्गो गदाग्रजः चतुर्मूर्तिश्चतुर्बाहुश्चतुर्व्यूहश्चतुर्गतिः चतुरात्मा चतुर्भावश्चतुर्वेदविदेकपात् समावर्तो निवृत्तात्मा दुर्जयो दुरतिक्रमः दुर्लभो दुर्गमो दुर्गो दुरावासो दुरारिः शुभाङ्गो लोकसारङ्गस्तुतन्तु वर्तनः इन्द्रकर्मा महाकर्मा कृतकर्मा कृतागमः उद्भवः सुन्दर सुन्दो रत्ननाभस्सुलोचनः अर्को वाजसनशृङ्गी जयन्तः सर्वविजयी सुवर्णबिन्दुरक्षोभ सर्वभागीश्वरेश्वरः महारथो महाकर्तो महाभूतो महानिधिः कुमुदकुण्डरकुण्डप्रचिन्नपावनो निलः अमृतांशोऽमृतवपुः सर्वज्ञ सर्वतोमुखः सुलभः सुव्रतः सिद्धः शत्रुजिच्छत्रुतापनः न्यक्रोधोदुम्बरोस्वास्तच्चानूरान्दनीशूदनः सहस्राक्षी सप्तजिह्वः सप्तैदा सप्तवाहनः अमूर्तिरनघोचिन्त्यो भयकृद्भयनाशनः अनुबृहत्तु शस्तूलो गुणबुन्नुक्कुणो महान् अदृतस्वदृतस्वास्तक् प्राग्वंशो वंशवर्धनः भारभृत्कथितो योगी योगीश सर्वकामदः आश्रमशमनः क्षामः सुपर्णो वायुवाहनः धनुर्धरो धनुर्वेदो दण्डो दमयितादमः अपराजितः सर्वसहो नियन्ता नियमो यमः सत्त्ववान् सात्विका सत्य सत्यधर्मपरायणः अभिप्राय प्रियाहोर प्रियकृत्प्रीतिवर्तनः विहाय सगतिर्ज्योतिः सुरुचित्तभुविक्पुः रविर्विरोचन सूर्य सविता रविलोचनः अनन्तहुत भुक्भोक्ता सुखतो नैकतो ग्रजः अनिर्विण्णः सदामर्षि लोकाधिष्ठानमद्भुतः सनातनतमः कपिलः कपिरव्ययः स्वस्तिद स्वस्ति कुत्स्वस्ति स्वस्ति भुक् स्वस्ति दक्षिणः अरोधः कुण्डली चक्री विक्रम यूर्जित शासनः शब्दाधिक शब्दसः शिशिरशर्वरीकरः अक्रूरपेशलो दक्षो दक्षिणः क्षमिणाम्बरः विद्वत्तमो वीतभय पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः उत्तारणो दुष्कृतिः पुण्यो दुःस्वप्ननाशनः वीरः रक्षणः सन्तो जीवन पर्यवस्थितः अनन्तरूपोऽनन्तश्री जितमन्युर्भयापहः चतुरश्रोघवीरात्मा विदिशो व्यादिशो दिशः अनादिभूर्भुवो लक्ष्मी सुवीरो रुचिराङ्गदः जननो जनजन्मादि भीमो भीमपराक्रमः आधारनिलयो धाता पुष्पहास प्रजागरः ऊर्ध्वगः सप्तदाचार प्राणद प्रणवप्रणः प्रमाणं प्राणनिलय प्राणभृत् प्राणजीवनः तत्त्वं तत्त्वविदेकात्मा जन्म मृत्युचरार्थिकः भूर्भुवस्वस्तरुस्तारः सविता प्रपितामहः यज्ञो यज्ञपतिर्यज्वा यज्ञाङ्गो यज्ञवाहनः यज्ञभृत्यज्ञकृत्यग्नि यज्ञभृत्यज्ञसाधनः यज्ञान्तकृत्यज्ञगुह्यमन्नमन्नादयेव च आत्मयोनि स्वयं जातो वैखानसामगायनः देवकीनन्दन षष्ठः शिटीशपापनाशनः शङ्खभृन्नन्दकी चक्री श्राङ्गधन्वा गदाधरः रथाङ्गपाणिरक्षोप सर्वप्रहरणायुधः सर्वप्रहरणायुध ॐ नमः इति वनमालिकदीशाङ्की शङ्की चक्री च नन्दकी श्रीमान् नारायणो विष्णु वासुदेवोऽपि रक्षतु वनमालिकदीशाङ्की शङ्की चक्री च नन्दकी श्रीमान् नारायणो विष्णु वासुदेवोऽपि रक्षतु वनमालिकदीशाङ्की शङ्की चक्री च नन्दकी श्रीमान् नारायणो विष्णु वासुदेवोऽपि रक्षतु श्रीवासुदेवोऽपि रक्षतु ॐ नमः इति इतीदं कीर्तनीयस्य केशवस्य महात्मनः नाम्नां सहस्रं दिव्यानाम् अशिक्षेण प्रकीर्तितम् यैदं शृणुयात् नित्यं यश्चापि परिकीर्तयेत् न शुभं प्राप्नुयात् किञ्चित् सोमुद्रे हजमानवः वेदान्तको ब्राह्मणस्य क्षत्रियो विजयी भवेत् वैश्यो धनसमुद्रस्य शूद्रः सुखमवाप्नुयात् धर्मार्थी प्राप्नुयात् धर्मम् अर्थार्थी चार्थमाप्नुयात् कामानवाप्नुयात् कामी प्रजाति चाप्नुयात् प्रजाम् भक्तिमान्य सतोताय स्तुतिः सत्कतमानसः सहस्रं वासुदेवस्य नाम्नामेकत् प्रकीर्तयेत् यश प्राप्नोति विपुलं याति प्राधान्यमेव च अचलां श्रियमाप्नोति श्रेयः प्राप्नोति अनुत्तमम् न भयं क्वचिदाप्नोति वीर्यं तेजश्च विन्दति भवत्यरोगो द्युतिमान् फलरूपगुणान्वितः रोगार्तो मुच्यते रोगात् बद्धो मुच्येत बन्धनात् भयान्मुच्येत भीतस्तु मुच्येत आपन्न आपदः दुर्गान्यतिरत्याश पुरुषोत्तमं स्तुवन्नाम सहस्रेण नित्यं भक्तिसमन्वितः वासुदेवाश्रयो मर्त्यो वासुदेवपरायणः सर्वपापविशुद्धात्मा याति ब्रह्मसनातनम् न वासुदेव भक्तानाम् अशुभं विद्यते क्वचित् जन्म मृत्युचरा व्याधि भयं नैवोपजायते इमं स्तवमधीयान श्रद्धा भक्तिसमन्वितः युज्येतात्मसुखं शान्ति श्रीधति स्मृतिकीर्तिभिः न क्रोधो न मात्सर्यं न लोभो नाशुभा मतिः भवन्ति कृतपुण्यानां भक्तानां पुरुषोत्तमे द्यौसचन्द्वार्कनक्षत्राखं दिशो भूर्महोदतिः वासुदेवस्य वीर्येण वृदितानि महात्मनः ससुरासुरगन्धर्वं सयक्षोरकराक्षसं जगद्वशे वर्तते तं कृष्णे सचरराचरम् इन्द्रियाणि मनोबुद्धिर्सत्त्वं तेजोबलं द्युतिः वासुदेवात्मकान्याहुः क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञ एव च सर्वागमानामाचार प्रथमं परिकल्पते आचारप्रभवो धर्मो धर्मस्य प्रपुरच्युतः ऋषयः पितरो देवा महाभूतानि धातवः जङ्गमाजङ्गमं जेदं जगन्नारायणोद्भवम् योगो ज्ञानं तथा साङ्ख्यं विद्या शिल्पादिकर्म च वेदाश्राष्टानि विज्ञान एतत् सर्वं जनार्दनात् एको विष्णुर्महद्भूतं पृथक् भूतान्यनेकवशः त्रिलोकान् व्यापभुक्तात्मा भुक्ते विश्वभुवव्ययः इमं स्तवं भगवतोर्विष्णोर्व्यासेन कीर्तितं पतेत्यै चेत् पुरुषश्रेयः प्राप्तुं सुखानि च विश्वेश्वरमजं देवं जगत्प्रभुमव्ययं भजन्ति ये पुष्कराक्षं न ते यान्ति पराभवम् न ते यान्ति पराभवो ॐ नमः इति अर्जुन उवाच पद्मपत्रविशालाक्ष पद्मनाभसरोत्तमा भक्तानामनुरक्तानां त्रात्रा भवजनार्दन श्रीभगवानुवाच यो मां नाम सहस्रेण स्तोतुमिच्छति पाण्डव सोऽहमेकेन श्लोकेन स्तुत एव न संशयः स्तुत एव न संशय ॐ नमः इति श्रीव्यास उवाच वासनाद् वासुदेवस्य वासितं भुवनत्रयं सर्वभूतनिवासोऽसि वासुदेव नमोऽस्तु ते श्रीवासुदेव नमोऽस्तु ॐ नमः इति पार्वत्युवाच केनोपायेन लघुना विष्णोर्नाम सहस्रकं पद्यते पण्डिते नित्यं श्रोतुमिच्छाम्यहं प्रभो ईश्वर उवाच श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं राम नाम वरानने श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं राम नाम वरानने श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं राम नाम वरानने श्रीराम नाम वरानन ॐ नमः इति ब्रह्मोवाच नमोऽस्तुवन्ताय सहस्रमूर्तये सहस्रपादाक्षिशिरोरुबाहवे सहस्रनाम्ने पुरुषाय शाश्वते सहस्रकोटियुगधारिणे नमः सहस्रकोटियुगधारिणे नमो ॐ नमः इति श्रीसञ्जय उवाच यत्र योगेश्वर कृष्णो यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धरः तत्र श्रीविजयो भूतिर्ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर्मम श्रीभगवानुवाच अनन्याश्चिन्तयन्तो मां ये जना पर्युपासते तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम् परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्मसंस्थापनार्थाय सम्भवामि युगे युगे अर्थाविषण्णा स्थितिलाश्च भीता घोरेषु च प्याशि च वर्तमानाः संकीर्त्य नारायण सप्तमार्थं विमुक्तदुःखा सुखिनो भवन्तु कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि सर्वं श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु
Beautiful. Vishnu Sahasranam ki jai.
जय
And Radhika ki jai. Very, very beautiful. Thank you so much. So please go for 7 or 5 or 7, whatever you like. You can analyze. And just tell us where so that we can find it.
Sure. Can I share my screen, Prabhu?
Oh, even better. Thank you.
So it's easy.
Yes, very good. Oops. Let me just
And
find
then also let me send this link.
Ah, here we go. Good. Yes, there you go.
Okay, thank you. So So this is the website that I have posted on the chat window that I'm.
So hopefully you should be able to share it now. Huh?
Yes, thank you. Yes. Okay. So here we go. This is the introduction that I read.
Oh,
and I did not read the last paragraph, which I thought I will read now because it's more relevant.
very good.
Towards the end of the stotra, remember I chanted one verse which said Parvatyovacha. So this is the crux of the Vishnu Sahasranam. In the afterword to the stotra, towards the end of the stotra, Goddess Parvati asks Shiva, her Ishvara, her Prabhu, the cosmic god, for an easy way to sing this stotra for the learned. He replies that it is sufficient that the learned repeats the name of Lord Rama, and that is equivalent to singing his Sahasranama. Sahasranama means 1,000 names of the Lord. Here, it is important to note that this is an easy method described or prescribed by the Lord Shiva only to the very learned who have no time because they're reading so many other stotras and not for everybody.
So no excuses, huh?
No excuses. So today we read all of it, and for anybody who listens to the Vishnu Sahasranama, the benefits are as many as for the one who chants it.
Yeah.
So let's go through about 5 verses, and I'll start with the invocation because this is the Dhyana Stotra, which is also very lovely.
Brilliant.
The actual Vishnu Sahasranama, the number of verses are 108. So this is the Dhyana in the beginning. Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye. Dressed in white you are, O all-pervading one, and glowing with the color of the moon. With 4 arms you are the all-knowing one. I meditate on your ever-smiling face and pray that you remove all obstacles on my way. Vyasam Vasishtanaptaram Shaktir-Portamakalmasham Parasharatmajam Vande Shukatatam Taponithim. I bow before you, Vyasa, the treasure house of penance, the great-grandson of Vashishta, the grandson of Shakti, the son of Parasara, and the father of Shukha. Vyasaya Vishnu Rupaya Vyasa Rupaya Vishnave Namo Vai Brahma Nithaye Vashishtaya Namo Namaha. Bow I before Vyasa, who is Vishnu, Vishnu, who is Vyasa, and again bow before he who is born in the family of Vashishta. Avikaraya Shuddhaya Nityaya Paramatmane Sadaika Rupa Rupaya Vishnave Sarvajishnave. Bow I before Vishnu, who is pure, who is not affected, who is permanent, who is the ultimate truth, and he who wins over all the mortals in this world. Yasya smarana matrena janma samsara bandhanat vimuchyate namastasmai Vishnave Prabha Vishnave. Om Namo Vishnave Prabha Vishnave. Bow I before him, the all-powerful Vishnu, the mere thought of whom releases one forever of the ties of birth and life. Bow I before the all-powerful Vishnu. So if we notice, there is a lot of Om Namo Vishnave Prabha Vishnave comes very often in the stotra because we are repeatedly with every name bowing before the Lord. Those were 5 verses. Prabhu, would you like more? 7?
I think so. I mean, you can also, you've commented a little bit, but you're welcome to comment more, because you've been reciting this so often. You will have so many realizations. So welcome to share whatever you like.
Yeah, sure. So I just get very excited trying to spot names of the Lord and understand the meanings of it. So it's almost like it's almost like a box of chocolates, and I'm like, today I found this name, or this means this. So it's very exciting to understand. And the more I'm reading the Bhagavad Gita, the more I'm understanding Srila Prabhupada's commentary on how he so beautifully talks of the meaning of every name and the relevance of it, although the name is the same in 2 different verses. So it's just very beautiful. For example, simple things. Devaki Nandan, that's a name that's found here. There is a name which calls him Rishikesha several times, Janardhana several times, Vishnu several times. There is one particular line which is so beautiful, which is part of the actual Vishnu Sahasranama. It says, Bhuta Krit, Bhuta Bhrit, Bhuta Bhavo, Bhutatma, Bhuta Bhavanaha. That's just one line, one part of a verse. It's the very first verse actually, which has so many names of the Lord. Bhutakrit, Bhutabhrit, Bhavo, Bhutatma, Bhuta Bhavanaha, which means somebody who controls the world. So it's my favorite stotra, and
really?
Yes, it's something I can't do without chanting at least once a day.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing. Really good. So you can do a couple more verses. It's nice.
Okay, sure. So moving on. So we did verse 5. In fact, let me actually make a quick math. There are 108 plus 27 plus 27 plus 18 of the Dhyana Stotra. That makes it 153 divided by 7. That's about 21. So if we start with 7 verses every Ekadashi, by the end of the 21st Ekadasi, we would have understood the entire meaning of this beautiful, slightly long stotra.
Wow. This is a blessing.
It is a blessing. 21 Ekadasi starting from today. So last 2 verses, the meaning. Shri Vaishwampayana Uvacha Srutva Dharmana Sheshena Pavanani Sasharvashah Yudhishthira Shantanavam Punareva Bhibhashata. Shri Vaishwampayana said, after hearing a lot about dharma that carries life and of those methods great that remove sin from one's life forever and to cleanse, Yudhishthira asked again, Bhishma, the abode of everlasting peace. Yudhishthira uvacha Kimekam Devatam Loke Kimvapyekam Parayanam Stuvantakam Kamarchanta Prapna Yurmanava Shubham Kodharma Sarva Dharmanam Bhavata Paramo Mataha Kim Japanmuchite Jantur Janma Samsara Bandhanat. Yudhishthira asked Bhishma Pitama, in this wide world, O Grandpa, which is that one God who is the only shelter? Who is he whom beings worship and pray and get salvation from the great? Who is he who should be oft be worshipped with love? Which dharma is so great that there is no other which is greater, and which is to be often chanted, oft is often, and which is to be often chanted to get free from this bondage of life which is so cruel? And there is Bhishma Pitama's response, which we can probably go through next week.
Yes.
Unless anybody wants to continue, or I'm sure they have questions. Or
yes, there must be.
Anybody
with any questions, please? Any comments?
Hare Krishna. So, Vaisampayana is Vyasadev, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that his other name, Prabhu?
Yeah.
Yes, because he was born on an island.
Yes, that's right.
That's why another name. He is Krishna Dvaipayana, and then the name comes. Dvaipayana. So yes, because he was born on an island. Prabhuji, you can elaborate on it more.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. It's very good.
So many personalities asking questions and participating in the Vishnu Sahasranam, like we got Vyasadeva, we got Bhishma, we got Yudhishthira, and then at the end, I think there's Arjuna also, right?
Yes.
The Parvati, there is Lord Shiva, and then Arjun, and then at the end, I think there is
Sanjay,
Sanjay, yes.
Brahma.
So many personalities asking. So that means that by the everybody was present. There was when Bhishma was narrating this beautiful Sahasranam, right?
Possibly. Possibly.
Yeah.
It must have been one amazing occasion.
Indeed.
Yeah, because all these sages, they came from around the universe, not only the world, the whole, from outer space also. Because when I was giving the class on Bhishma Pitaba on his life, then I came across that all the rishis, so they just connected through the mind. It's just like nowadays we have cell phones, we have phones, but at those times it was just like they will think like telepathy. They will think in their mind and the others will respond and they will know what is going on. Because when Bhishma Pitama was going to die, so everybody, they knew that he was going to give a lecture. So everybody came. And it is also said that not only the sages came, they took Sir Shishya. That means also they took the disciple also. They didn't tell their disciple, no, you stay back, I will go on my own. Like nowadays, if you have a guru, or if you are in a kind of a congregation, they will tell you, don't follow this, don't associate with such and so, or don't listen to others' classes, which is bad. Because I argued, once I argued with some people, I told them that Lord Krishna is not that small that we would understand him through one or two persons. And all these books that Srila Prabhupada has written, it's so immense, so great that we have to have, like each one of us have to see from different perspectives. Like my understanding may be very low, someone else may understand it higher, so I can get knowledge from them. So different angles, we understand from different angles and we share. It may have the same meaning, but we understand it in different ways. So those people, they didn't say anything, but yes, I disagree with us that, oh, you are my disciple, you stay only with me, or you listen only to my class. So we should take example here. All the sages, they came with all the disciples, and also there are so many great personalities here asking questions, which is good. So this is a good example for all of us. Yes, thank you.
Very good. Thank you for sharing.
Fantastic observation, Mataji. Thank you.
Radhika, you are great, Radhika. Thank you. You are sharing this. We are benefiting a lot. And 21 Ekadasi is like a year, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully we will be able to
and then she'll have to do every single verse one by one. That's about 1,000 Ekadashis, right?
Yeah, but she is so fast. I try to recite, but I cannot catch up. So I'm behind. So I will jump. I will leave some lines. I will jump and meet her.
Tinti was struggling to keep up.
No, I cannot. She is fantastic. She has been bestowed with this nice voice and the capacity and the ability to go fast, which is good. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you. I'm only a beginner. I don't know anything about the Bhagavatam. I'm only learning the Bhagavad Gita. So this is just the first baby step that I've taken in my spiritual journey. So I need all your blessings.
Yeah,
our blessing is there, but if this is a baby step, what will happen when you have the adult steps?
Right.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Anybody else? Any questions? Any comments?
Beautifully narrated, I must say. Thank you, Radhika, and thank you, Indulekha Devi Dasi as well.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so we can call it a day.
Prabhu, can I ask you a question, please? It's a doubt, actually.
Okay. Go.
And I probably could benefit even from the experience of other devotees present here. You know, when we chant, I probably asked you this before and you gave a very beautiful answer. But today, for example, when I was chanting, I felt that my bhava, as they say, bhava, or the emotion was not in sync with the Lord. I was not, I didn't feel I was fully present when I was chanting. And it's often that when I'm either chanting or taking the name of the Lord or reading the stotra, I'm not concentrating fully. And I realize it. And I do try that I should control my mind, which is like the wind, like Arjuna says, bring it back and focus. But then I would love to help myself more in being able to focus more on just the Lord. So I'd love to understand your experience and other devotees' experience, how you try to always keep the focus when you're chanting.
Yeah,
or when you're reading any stotra or book, etc.
I always fail. It is a challenge because the mind is very turbulent and strong. And I've got a crazy mind, actually, I have to say. I try to always remember that Krishna has, especially when we're chanting in the mornings, that Krishna has promised to be with us while we're chanting for 2 hours. That's his promise through the Guru, because we've made that promise through the Guru, and through the Guru, he's made a promise to us that I will be with your devotee for 2 hours. So I try to remember that when I'm chanting, Krishna's there, physically present, mentally present, emotionally present. So if I'm not in that conversation, I'm facing the greatest loss of my life. So that's one way I convince my mind that, look, stay alert, stay awake, stay connected with Krishna, because he's made that promise that he's going to be there with you for 2 hours at least while you're chanting. So generally speaking, the mind does generally obey. Of course, there are many occasions when it flickers away. And then that's when Krishna's teachings to Arjun kick in. Because absolutely, as you said, Arjun protested to Krishna that my mind is so turbulent, it's easier for me to control the wind than the mind. So then Krishna said, yes, you're right, the mind is obstinate, but you can do 2 things to control the mind. One is practice. So if it goes, bring it back. If it goes, bring it back. And that's the nature of the mind. It will go, just keep bringing it back. And then the second thing Krishna said to Arjuna was, be detached. If the mind is worried about work or the family or the friends or something else, be detached. Because if you are detached, then you can focus on what you are doing. If it's attached, then it will keep going to especially the problem areas in your life. So 3 things. One is know that Krishna is there while you're chanting. So we need to be in that conversation with Krishna. Otherwise, it's like a guest coming to your home and you ignore the guest. The guest is talking or you're talking, but you're actually ignoring the guest. So in the same way, if we are inviting the Lord to come and be chanting with him, we can't ignore him. He's there. And the greatest possible benediction is that he's with us. And then the 2 instructions given by Krishna, that if your mind goes, bring it back. Keep bringing it back. And don't expect it to stay all the time. My Guru Maharaj used to say, let the mind go. If he's going to go, let it go. Where's he going to go? Everything's Krishna anyway. So it was interesting how he put it, I was like, oh, okay. But bring it back, keep bringing it back. And the third thing was become detached. These problems are not our problems. They're actually Krishna's problems. Let him deal with them. We've taken his shelter. We're at his lotus feet. We've given everything to him, including our problems. So they're now his problems. Let him deal with them. All we've got to do is connect with him, be with him, connect with him, be as close as possible to him. And he can deal with anything. He's got no problem. Like you gave the example of the sparrow the other day, and in the ocean, with the little beak trying to take out all the water. That's what we're trying to do. We got all these problems and we're trying to deal with them. But then Garud came and said to the bird, what are you doing? Lost my eggs. Ocean won't give them. So I want my eggs back. So I'm emptying the ocean. And Garud said, oh, okay, I will help you. So this is the situation. If we simply surrender unto the Lord and say, look, my problems are not my problems. They're your problems. And I'm simply your servant. So if you want to clear the problems, do it. If you don't, that's fine as well. I'm just your servant. So that detachment will come. And that when there's detachment, then one can more easier to focus on the Lord.
Hare Krishna, can I say something?
Yes, of course.
Yes. So as Radhika is her name?
Yes, yes, Mataji.
Yes, sorry. As Radhika said, she is beginner. For us, we are old now, right? But for her, it might be difficult. One leg is already in the graveyard, Prabhuji, so we are old, right? So what we can understand that yes, we have to focus, but for I cannot focus. To be truthful with you, I cannot focus. What I do is I chant loud enough so that I can hear myself. So then I know I'm not making any mistake, because sometimes we tend to like omit some of the words, right? So sometimes mainly when we are chanting fast, so we say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, we miss the Hare Hare. Or we say only one time Hare, or we jump. So what do we do? We listen. So when we listen, that means that we are focusing, right? Because it is difficult to chant 16 rounds, focusing on only the Lord or at his lotus feet. Our mind will go no matter what we do. Our mind goes away. So it's like chant a bit, not loud, like soft enough that you can hear yourself. And what I tell my group in the Bhagavad Gita class, I say chant from the mouth, listen from the ear, and bring it in your heart. So it's a process like 1, 2, 3. So we focus, I focus on that. Not all the time though. I must be lying if I tell all the time. Because yes, the mind is like a little child. The more you bring it back and tell him to sit on a chair, the more he will run away. So I just try to hear, make sure that I'm hearing what I am saying. And in this way, I can focus a little bit. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji, for that practical tip. Prabhu, we are meant to hear what we chant. What do you see, even if you have a closed eye?
You see with the ear. With our eyes are very deceiving, right? Because vision is not clear. But actually, we should not look with the eyes. We should look with the ears. So hearing is fundamental. When we are reciting the Bhagavatam, we're listening. And that hearing is the sword of knowledge, which will destroy this Maya that we are in. So hearing is absolutely fundamental. Seeing, we may be looking at the deity, but we might be thinking, isn't that a beautiful marble? Seeing, we don't place too much trust in our eyes. But hearing is what will actually change the heart. It will change our consciousness. Seeing can have its benefits, but some people, for example, chant before the deities. And when they're chanting, which is a good thing in one sense, but when they're chanting, they're looking at the crowns and thinking, beautiful crown, Hare Krishna, beautiful dress, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. But actually, they've missed the point. It's fine you're admiring the deities, but actually the focus should be on the holy names. So best keeps the eyes closed. I mean, when I chant, I keep the blanket over my head. I don't see anything. I can't see.
Really?
But Prabhuji, if you close your eye, you fall asleep. That also is that good.
But you still see, don't you? Even if you close your eyes, you're seeing some vision.
You're seeing then, you know, if it's early morning, you fall asleep.
No. You fall asleep if you don't have that connection, right? If you're falling asleep when you're chanting, then there is a problem that we're not thinking that my Lord is there with me. I can't fall asleep. It's like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's disciple, right? One of them, he used to tie his sikha to a wooden pole, right? Because if he fell asleep, he would wake up, right? Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati said, no artificial means like that. It's not that we stay, we want to stay, we do something to keep awake. No, we automatically keep awake because we're with the Lord. Who else is more greater than the Lord? So we got to develop that consciousness that the Lord is with me. I'm with him. This is my opportunity. This is my turn to speak to him. And I won't speak any old rubbish with him. I will simply chant his holy names and try to please him that way. Even when your eyes are closed, no. Maybe I can't multitask. So when my eyes are closed, I can't see anything else. I can just hear. It's good.
Yeah, not everybody is the same. That we should pick what is favorable for us. And yes, as you said, you cover your head with a blanket. I will fall asleep for sure. So I don't do that. I don't do that. I chant like loud enough so that I'm clear enough so that I can hear myself. And the good thing is that we chant in association. So we are chanting every day virtually. So everybody is chanting. Some are chanting loud, some are chanting low. So we tune according to our taste, and then we sit there and we chant. Yeah.
Does that make sense, Radhika?
Oh, yes, very much. Thank you. I'm so glad I asked. I thought it was this very silly question, but I'm so happy I asked.
No silly question. No silly question at all.
Yeah.
These are fundamental questions.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Because you know who ask question? People who understand, who have realized something. People who keep quiet, that means that, oh, they're sleeping all the time. They don't. If you understand, then you will ask question. You want to know more. Either you know everything or you know nothing. So here you are, you know something, you want to know more about it. There's no stupid question. Never think about that like that. If you have question, always ask. And it's good because we learn as well.
Somebody else will have the same doubt.
Yeah.
It's very important to ask, actually.
I do. I can't concentrate. Not always.
And what do you do to try to get that concentration back?
Well, I sit next to my deities to try and do the mantra as many as I can.
Good.
But as you said, I try and admire them and admire everything about them. And I keep thinking, maybe I should change this. Maybe I should change this color while I'm chanting.
It's not a bad thing, but when we're chanting, the focus is...
It's not the right thing.
Well, it's not a question of right or wrong. It's a question of engaging.
Getting diverted. Your mind getting diverted.
It's the focus. Get that focus absolutely on what you're doing. Because our mentality is we do a few things at the same time.
That's right.
But
multitasking.
It doesn't work in spiritual context. It doesn't. In the spiritual context, you've got to be like Arjun, right? Because what happened, Dronacharya tested his students and he said to Yudhishthir, there's a bird in the tree. What do you see? Take aim. He took aim and Dronacharya asked him, what do you see? I see your lotus feet. I see the sky. I see the tree. Then he asked, okay, thank you. He said, he asked his own son, Ashwatthama, what do you see? And he said similar thing. I see your lotus feet. I see the bird. Okay. And then he asked Duryodhan, similar sort of thing. And then he asked Arjun, what do you see? I see the eye. I see the eye of the parrot. I don't see
the target.
I don't see anything else. The focus has to be like that. Whatever we're doing, if we're focusing on the darshan of the deities, that's all we do. We don't do anything else. That's where the man's mind is useful. He can't multitask.
Yes, I was just going to say that then in the spiritual journey, women are a bit behind because unfortunately we can multitask and try to do so many things and
at the same time. Well, that's your nature, isn't it? Because you have to do so many things. The man can get away with it. He can just sit. I just sit here all day.
Don't worry, you have to do that because half of your credit goes to Jayanti. Know that also.
Absolutely. Yeah. And she deserves every bit of it.
Yes. because she's doing most of the task, right? You're just sitting there.
She does all the hard work.
Work for her. She's lucky. She's lucky, right? To get somebody like you, because you are focusing on the Lord.
Telling her that, but she usually points the finger back at me saying, "You're lucky."
No, she's lucky.
I
She's lucky because
I'm the lucky
so
one.
many person, they don't have husband, or husband is not devotee, so we are at loss. So Jayanti is lucky. So are you. So both of you are lucky.
I think I've got the better deal here.
Yes.
True. It's true.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay. Anything else? Anybody else? Surinder, usually you have something to share. And usually it's very good. Maybe it's
Dandavad Prabhu, Nitai Gaur Haribol.
Krishna.
Yes, Sri Nityananda Chandram Patita Sharanadam Gauradam Tam Bhajiham. I offer my obeisances to Nityananda Prabhu to beg his mercy. So we, by ourselves, our own attempt alone, we may not be able to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra attentively or even without offense. So we should always be in a prayer mood to seek the grace of Nityananda Prabhu and Gauranga Mahaprabhu and Panchatattva, like that. It is said in one of the Sharanagati songs, ki jani ki bole tumhare dhamete hoinu sharanagata tumi daya moya patita pavana patita tarane rata. Like, and also by what personal effort or knowledge did I come to your shelter, oh my Lord? It's only by your grace. So in this mood, begging mercy of Nityananda Prabhu is paramount. Nityananda Prabhu, Gauranga Prabhu, Panchatattva. Therefore, we chant Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, like that, to get the grace. Also reciting Shikshastakam, Cheto Darpanam Arjanam Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam Sreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadhu Jivanam Anandam Bodhi Vardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrita Svadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Reciting Shikshastakam, the whole 8 verses, also will give us some guidance to chant attentively. Also, Haridas Thakur advised chanting loudly, like Haridas Thakur was chanting loudly. Like that also we get some focus. And it's like we need to be free from the influence of Rajogun and Tamogun. Rajogun may be expressed like stress. If we're under stress and under pressure, then that is the influence of Rajogun. So then our concentration in chanting will not be proper because we are not peaceful. The whole point is that we should try to attain the minimum peacefulness and attentiveness in chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So Rajogun may be related in our case is stressful experiences and stress, and Tamogun may be expressed as anxiety and depression. If you're having severe anxiety and depression or some worries, then we may not be focused in chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So it is paramount to be free from the influences of these negative modes of material nature, Rajogun and Tamogun, at least. Minimum we should be fixed in Sattva Gun, but ideally we should be in Suddha Sattva, the transcendental mode. Only with the purpose to serve and please Sri Guru Gauranga Radha Sham Sundar Girdharji. That is to please Shri Krishna, Swayam Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Like that, some advice is like that I shared. Nitai Gaur Haribo.
Thank you so much. Very good.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anybody else? Kaushalya or Vivas? Okay. Ritesh. Good to see you, Ritesh. I mean, good to
Yes,
meet you.
Prabhu was really nice listening to all these kathas and the
Mm.
names, so many names, 100,000, isn't it?
Yeah, amazing.
Yes, very nice, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. We're very blessed with the.
We are, yes.
Yeah, really good. Thank you so much. Okay, so we can call it today, and happy Ekadashi, everybody, and good fast and good completing the fast tomorrow as well. Wishing everybody best. And maybe Radhika, you can stay back a couple of minutes. Just wanted to share some things with you.
Okay.
Or get your advice as well.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everybody.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank
Krishna.
you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Dandavat, everybody.
Hare Krishna, Shrinda. Thank you so much.